Making games is a lot of hard work. There are so many different components that need to fit together and work in unison. Mechanics, sound, graphics, music, marketing, and story are just some examples of what a game might need. We are just 2 people working on Mistwinter Bay, and we need to somehow make sure we get all the needed components into the game. Today I'll show you how we've set up our workflow to ensure that there's constant progress on the game. I'm Wogglawooh, and let's jump into it. We've decided to only work during the regular weekdays and keep the weekends completely free. This is to try and keep ourselves somewhat sane, something everyone should try to strive for. There are set work hours from 9 AM to 4 PM with a lunch break around 1 PM. This means we both get around 6 hours of work done each day. This is less than a regular job, but honestly, who can focus for 8 hours every day? So we get up at 8, eat a quick breakfast, and then get started on work. At least, in theory. I have a bad habit of oversleeping and wake up first at like 10:30. Then I'm usually not ready at my computer until 11. But it's fine, because my workload isn't as heavy as my brother's. I'll show you what I mean. This is Hack and Plan, a website that helps with organizing game projects. You create your own tasks that need to be done, and they can be sorted into different categories, such as programming, art, design, etc. etc. It's a really handy tool. Both me and my brother have access to the project's dashboard and can add and edit tasks. This is great if you're working on a game with lots of people. That way you can assign tasks to specific users and then see how long tasks took. Granted that everyone uses the website properly. When I used it in the past, not everyone was on the same page on how to use it. But now that there's only 2 people to keep track of, it's a lot easier. So basically, every morning when I start work, I take a look at what I need to do. At the start of this week, I drew some wedding pictures, contacted content creators, and drew a new character. All those tasks are not completed. Right now I'm working on this devlog, and that's why it's in the In Progress category. Here we also see that my brother is working on some music and a hangout for one of the characters. Up here you can see the deadline for the current sprint of development, and there are also deadlines for some of the tasks, specifically the Patreon ones to keep us on schedule. I mentioned a sprint. And in case you're confused about what that means, a sprint is part of Scrum, which is a commonly used framework for developing a product. It can be used on a big or small scale depending on the project. The idea is that you work for an amount of time, in our case 2 weeks at a time, where you develop and implement things for the game. And then when the time is up, you evaluate the results and try to improve the next sprint. We are kinda lazy and only use a very simplified version of Scrum, which basically only consists of a sprint to make sure that we get enough work done on the game. There's no set deadline for the game yet, but of course, we want to release the full game as soon as possible. Like I mentioned earlier, another good feature of Hack and Plan is that you can see how much time you spent on the game. I checked how much we've logged so far, and it's about 1,337 hours. Wow, that's a lot. And that's only the things we've remembered to actually check the time on. I know, for example, that I made all the characters in the demo without writing it down in Hack and Plan, so that's many hours of work that isn't visible. It's safe to say that we've definitely spent over 2,000 hours on this game so far. My brother and I have pretty different jobs in this project, so it's clear what we need to do. I draw all the characters, backgrounds and event pictures, I write emails, I edit all our videos and take care of our Patreon page. All this while my brother does, well, everything else. Programming, writing, sound, music, UI art, mechanics, effects in game, and basically everything else you can think of. Now you're probably thinking, that doesn't sound very fair, you're barely doing anything. And to that I say, fair enough. My workload isn't nearly as heavy, but let's put it like this instead. I'm more of a hired artist rather than a co-creator for this game. My brother was working on it long before I even thought about helping, and at this point, I do more damage than good if I try programming or something of the like. Yet another thing that is incredibly important in a large project is communication. Communication is probably the most important thing actually, and thankfully, we live in the same house. So if something is unclear, we can literally just walk on over and ask about it. very convenient. But that's pretty much it. We have a set work routine, clear work areas, good communication and concise planning. Thanks to all this, we're able to keep a constant workflow and bring the game closer to completion. It also helps that we're 2 people and can constantly keep pushing each other. We recently had a gentleman here on YouTube play Mistwinter, and it was a really good experience. It's easy to see things that need improvement when someone new plays the game. I'll leave the link to his video and channel in the description. If you have any questions about our workflow, feel free to leave them in the comments. Make sure to subscribe and all that jazz, and we'll see you in the next video.